Hi 5th graders, today we're going to be learning about inequalities, simplest form, equivalent fractions, and completing the fractions. So let's get started. It's fairly easy today. So we're going to get started with comparing fractions, which is basically inequalities, and we're going to do number 2 together. Number 2 gives us 2/3 and 3/4. So in order to know which one's bigger, we obviously need, an easier way is to make sure that the denominators are the same numbers. So we know that the GCFs of 3 and 4 are 12, so we need to make the denominators 12. So in order to make 2 over 3 equal to, in order to make 3 equal to 12, we need to multiply it by 4, right? But if we multiply 3 by 4, then we also have to multiply 2 by 4. So make sure, oops, there's not enough space. I'll make it fit. So we put parentheses and we put 4, right? Now we need to move on to here. In order to make 4 equal to 12, we need to multiply it by 3. And once again, what you do to the bottom, you also have to do to the top. So I hope I said 3. Yeah, 3. So now we know 4 times 2 is what? 8. And 4 times 3 is obviously 12, right? Now we need to do 3 times 3, which is 9, and 4 times 3 is 12, so we put 9 over 12 right here. So now we have the same denominators, right? So once we have the same denominators, we just look at the numerators, and whichever is the highest is the greatest. So we know that 8 is less than 9, right? So we know that it's less than, so we put the less than sign. So your answer will be 2/3 is less than 3/4. Now we're going to move on to simplest form. We're going to do number 4 together. This is very easy. So we have 12 over 36. Now, how do we simplify it, you might ask? So you need to see if 12 can go into 36, and it does, right? So what we do is we divide by 12. So you always have to make sure if a number can go into the bottom number or the other way around. That's how you simplify. And you take that number out. So can 1 go into 36? Yes, but it could still be simplified, right? Can 2 go into 36? Yes, it can, but it can still be simplified, right? How about 3? Yes. 4? Yes. 6? Yes. And then you have to skip all the way to 12 once you know the multiples of 36 and 12. So now we get the GCF for this one. Let's write it here. The GCF will be 12. So we put GCF equals 12. So we have to divide the whole thing by 12. So we do divide by 12, divide by 12. Now when you divide 12 by 12, you just get 1, right? So our numerator is going to be 1. And when we divide 36 by 12, we just get 3. So your denominator is going to be 3. And once you see that 1 can go into 3, but 3 can't go into 1, then that's how you know that it's in its simplest form. Like no other number from both of the denominator and numerator can go into each other. So your answer for number 4 will be 1/3. Now let's move on to equivalent fractions. We're going to do number 7 together, and number 7 gives us 5 over 6. Now for this one, you can multiply it or divide it, but for 5 over 6, you have to specifically multiply it. So it doesn't matter what number you multiply 5 over 6 by, as long as when you simplify it in the end, it gives you 5/6 again, okay? So let's just do 5 over 6 times 2. Well, there's not going to be enough space, so let's write it down here. Then it will give us 5 times 2 is what? 10. And 6 times 2 is 12. So that will be one equivalent fraction to 5 over 6, because when you simplify like 10 over 12, you take out the 2 again, you get 5/6 once again. Now let's try times 3. 5 times 3 is 15, right? So that's going to be your numerator. 6 times 3 is 18, so that's going to be your denominator. And as you can see, when you take out 3 from 15 and 18, you just get 5/6 once again. So equivalent fractions are, you can multiply by any number except 1 and 0, because when you multiply by any number, both top and bottom by the same number, you should get your original form when you simplify this, the product that you get in the end. Now let's do completing the fraction. We're going to do number 10 together. So number 10 gave us 9 over x equals 3 over 15. So there's two ways to do this. I'm pretty sure I told you guys before, but here's the butterfly method. So you do, or the x method, whatever you want to call it, right? So you have to multiply the numbers inside these circles or ovals. So 3 times x, right? Now we bring the equal sign down. And then we do 15 times 9. You could either do it by hand or calculator. I'm going to do calculator since it's faster. So 15 times 9, 135, right? So now we need the x alone, so we just divide by 3. And once again, you could either do it by hand or use your calculator. I'm going to do it by calculator since it's faster. 135 divided by 3 is 45. So that's going to be your answer. Another way to do it is by doing it across. So we're given 3 over 15 and 9, right? But we're given x here. So we can't really figure out the bottom one. So we're going to try the top one since it gives us 9. So 3 times blink equals 9. So in order to figure this out, you could do 9 divided by 3 since 3 is a factor of 9, right? So 9 divided by 3 is what? Just 3, right? So once we know that the numerator is multiplied by 3, we also have to do it on the bottom, right? Because you have to multiply top numerator and denominator by the same number. And 15 times 3 is what? 45. So x equals 45. There are two ways to do this. And that's it, and I hope